Miriam Margolyes fumes her bosses at BBC are monstrous for expecting people to shut up. Miriam Margolyes hit out that her employers at the BBC are monstrous for expecting its stars to shut up, after Gary Lineker was once again accused of breaking the broadcaster's impartiality rules. Miriam Margolyes has vowed to continue speaking her mind even if it means she could no longer be employed by the BBC, as she defended Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker. The Harry Potter actress, 82, said she is totally in favor of Gary and encouraged him to keep speaking out. She told Times Radio's Jane Garvey and Fi Glover, "I worked for the BBC all my life from the very beginning of my career, and I have never shut up. So, if the BBC chooses not to employ me anymore, well, I'll be deeply sad, but I think they're wrong. If you speak when you're doing your job for the BBC, then you should. But if you are a person at home being interviewed, then you should say what you think. I think it's monstrous to expect people to shut up." The comedian added that she's noticed a lot of contracts from film companies have tried to muzzle their employees. Miriam concluded, "In a lot of contracts that I'm offered recently from film companies, nothing to do with the BBC, that they want you not to talk about your salary. How dare they try to muzzle their employees? I find that really scary." Her comments come after Gary, 63, faced fresh criticism after backing a campaign criticizing the government's Rwanda policy. Defense Secretary Grant Shapps said Gary should stick to TV, and questioned whether he should express political views. In response, the BBC said the father of four is free to contribute to projects for third parties, as long as these do not conflict with his BBC commitments, breach guidelines on conflicts of interest, nor bring the BBC into disrepute. Earlier this year, the former footballer was at the center of an impartiality row after he compared the government's treatment of asylum seekers to Nazi Germany. As a result, he was briefly suspended from Match of the Day, and the BBC laid out new rules for its presenters' social media use. The guidelines state that presenters of flagship programs must respect the BBC's impartiality during the periods their shows are on air and the 2 weeks before and after transmission.